Okay, so let's talk about season two of Rurouni Kenshin, the Kyoto Disturbance. So, a quick recap on season one. Of course, this was something that I was very excited about when they announced they were doing this, what is essentially a remake of the Kenshin anime. I was a big fan of the original series, I think ran from 96 to 98. But obviously, the problem was with that series is that was being released alongside the books, and inevitably, the anime caught up to where the manga was at. So then, of course, it kind of had to improvise after that, for lack of a better term. But now, of course, we have a complete story to adapt now. And the first season was, I was really, really happy with. I was happy with the reverence and respect that was shown for the original source material. It's not like you had a bunch of yahoos coming in and just deciding, yeah, we're just going to take the bare bones of this and just do our own thing. And the way things have been going over recent years with reboots and remakes, it's understandable that you might be nervous when you get wind that a property that you absolutely adore is going to be rebooted. You can't help but get nervous. But season one, as far as I was concerned, was great. They really were faithful, absolutely, and it really felt as though they actually added something. Of course, you had the wonderful advancements in animation, so that was welcome. You had some really dynamic sequences. The sword fights were absolutely brilliant. Um, Everything was really, really good about the first season, in my view. And even obviously, the voice cast did a great job. I adore Suzukazi Mayo, the original voice for Kenshin. She was fantastic. It would have been great if she could have come back, but obviously that didn't happen. But what I've got to say is this new cast that they've assembled did a magnificent job. Of course, one of the things that's always a standout about the original series was the music. Of course, they don't bring any of that in for the new anime. It's all new music, and even though it's not the same, it's still very, very good. But obviously, you had that clear demarcation point at the end of season one where Kenshin leaves for Kyoto. I liked that choice, to be honest, because of course the way they did it in the original, obviously season two begins with Kenshin leaving for Kyoto, so it felt, I don't know, for this one it felt like a natural line, of separation. To okay, we literally end the first season with Kenshin leaving and parting ways with Kaoru, and then of course we pick up season two with Kenshin on his way to Kyoto. So we get into season two, and I was late to this because it started back in October, and it passed me by. It just did. But about a month ago, not even that, I re-upped my subscription with Crunchyroll, and I just dove right back into it, and I binged so much of it. I got through so much of it very, very quickly, and then of course caught up in time for the last couple of episodes as they were actually airing or being released on Crunchyroll. So of course, you know, we've had the final episode. Um, First season was 24 episodes, this season 23, so we've had 47 episodes of Kenshin awesomeness so far. And of course, season 3 is confirmed, and it's fascinating to see where this one leaves off, because we leave the Kyoto arc incomplete. So obviously we've had the main bulk of it. Certainly, obviously we have, Shishio's initial plan to burn Kyoto to the ground, and obviously that's usurped. And we've saved the day initially, but we've still got the matter of actually dealing with Shishio and the Ten Swords. So where this leaves off is Saito, Sanosuke, and Kenshin being invited to the duel. This was something I was interested about. I wasn't sure how they were going to play this because I was thinking, well, they've only got one episode left. Surely they couldn't do the whole thing in one episode unless that final episode is feature length. But sure enough, they haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because obviously the end of this last episode is them departing and heading off to the duel. And then, of course, we've got the rumblings that obviously while the duel's taking place, the remainder of the Ten Swords are going to assault the inn. And then we've laid the foundation that obviously Hiko is going to come and save the day, which will be spectacular to see. So where we are at is we've loaded the board set. Absolutely. I mean, obviously there's been so much accomplished in this second season, but when season 3 starts, it's gonna go like a bullet. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, is this season 3, is it going to be devoted to the remainder of the Kyoto arc? I can speak words. And following on from that, are they going to then carry on, into another arc in the same season? I don't know. I hope not. I hope that, because there's a lot that we still need to cover, and I think you could get another season out of it, because what you've got to appreciate is, as we get into that, the duel is an odyssey in and of itself, because we go through the rounds. Obviously we have the different matchups. We have obviously Sanosuke's fight, we have Saito's fight, and then we have Kenshin's fight, and then we deal with Shishio. But then during the course of these duels, we get so much backstory that we delve in. Like, we get Anji's backstory, we get Sojiro's backstory. So there's still a lot to cover, and then obviously everything that's going on at the inn with Hiko taking on the remainder of the Ten Swords, along with obviously, Misao's there, Kaoru's there, Yahiko's there. There's still so much to cover. So if they spend a full season on the remainder of it, I'd be more than happy. But then obviously, out in the distance, we're getting ever closer to it, and everyone's excited about it. But almost certainly season 4, we've got to get into the Jinshu arc and obviously the trust and betrayal stuff. So if they can take all the time they want, they can use the full season 3 for the rest of Kyoto. I'd rather than do that and not start anything else, because it'd be jarring. And then season 4, we just get into all of the stuff with Kenshin's backstory, and then when Anishi shows up. But I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, would they do a full chunk dedicated to the flashback stuff, a la Trust and Betrayal, the OVA? I hope they would. Or would they do it all fit within the context of the Jinshu arc? Like, obviously, would we start with the present day, and then have a bulk of episodes where we jump back, and then for the rest of the season, jump back to the present? It's interesting, but what this, again, just wrapping this all up, there's been some absolutely fantastic stuff here. They've really respected what's gone before, and they've legitimately added to it. This is, for me, a textbook example of what a reboot should be. You can see the care and the effort and the thought that's been put into, obviously, this season, but also the first season, and I'm sure it'll be all there in the subsequent seasons. For $4.99 a month Crunchyroll subscription, I mean, this Kenshin anime has been worth the price of that alone. Obviously, you've got a wealth of other things on Crunchyroll, but the whole Kenshin stuff, just in isolation, wow. I mean, I feel really, really happy. But I hope when it all comes to all, I would love to get a full box set when it's all released. I mean, it'll be cost an ungodly amount, but for what we've got so far and the quality, worth pulling the trigger. But yeah, that wraps this up again. One would assume we'll get season 3 next year. He is hoping, and hopefully we'll have some official release date soon. But there's a lot to be excited about. Season 1 great, season 2 I would say has been even greater, and excited for what's in store going forward. That wraps this up. Thank you for listening to me talk about it. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and please feel free to share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And we'll look forward to season 3, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.